The lorax. We've all heard of it. The story where a little orange guy called the lorax tries and warns this guy called the onceler to stop cutting down trees to make his product the thneed, which can do anything because it's really being harmful for the environment. And if you haven't heard of it, you have, but if you haven't, the same guy as Cat in the Hat, Dr. Seuss. And it is a very profound book for the age demographic, the 4 to 5 year olds. No other book, to my knowledge, has that deep of a meaning for like a book with that few words, and that is really cool. The sad thing is, the main way kids hear about it now, including me, is the butchered version by Illumination, where this evil guy called O'Hare got rid of after all the trees, he made his own oxygen. And made his own synthetic world where everything's fake. And why are we supposed to care about them having trees? They seem to be very happy. Do you know why? Because they're pretty. In the original book and the actual film we're reviewing, it's all because they're like, you need to save them. Because if you don't, the environment's screwed. You are actually effed up. The world is done. But in the film, in the new one, it's just like, oh, because they're pretty. Yeah, true. That's not why that's not why the Lorax was trying to save them, though. Because it's bad for the environment if you cut them down. And then also it shows that O'Hare is a really irredeemable villain. It ruins the entire message. Just like watch a long review on that. People have done way better reviews on that film. But what no one actually ends up talking about is the actually good film version. One of the only times where a film adaptation is better than the book. And goes further with the book's message. The book's message was to save the trees. And this film shows even more about that. It's all the same basic story. He evolves, he grows his business. Basically, there's all, you know the story. But I'm going to tell him, there's a little kid who goes up and sees the onceler, who has to pay him like money, and he'll speak occasionally. He'll tell him the story of the lorax and how he was lifted. This kid cares a lot about it. He tells him back when everything was still green, the water was still clean, the clouds were still nice and everything. He pulled up in a horse-drawn wagon, came and found trees. So he cut one down. He did no harm, right? Built himself a little shack, and then started sewing. He made his own thneed. The lorax came out. The bush was like big boom and came out, and then he's just like, "Hey, stop cutting that down, mate. Don't do that." He's just like, "There's only one tree. I did no harm. If you want the stump, he's like, no, you shouldn't do that." And the film is all ruined, and then it's all stupidly dramatic in the film. But then you get to that one tree, it's just like, but then what happens is then he's just like, well, I'm doing no harm. Sell to someone, okay. Builds himself a telephone, calls his family, and they'll come. I also forgot to mention, it's a 25-minute long musical. A 25-minute long musical. How rare is that done? It's so rare. And it's done so well. They do. And then the family comes and they start knitting more. Then they cut 4 trees at a time with a super axe hacker. And then it genuinely goes into more stuff like how people worship companies instead of actual people. And like talk about, sing songs like Start and talk about Even If. It's just like, and slowly talks about how consumerism can take over people's lives. And it gets deeper than the actual book does. And it's also really good. And then it's showing like some funny jokes of the annex and the annex. And they're taking every tree because they really need the thneed. And he comes into a factory and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, the barbers, they can't stay anymore." Just like, what? And they can't stay, there's not enough fruit to go around. It's just like, oh, sad, but business grow. They're a really profound moment. And no, sinking into your sleep. The moment that the book does not have that the film did and was so good is when once it's just like, occasionally I have a talk with myself, being like, "You're not ashamed of what you've done, man." No, it's just like, no, of course I'm not. And he's splitting himself into two things, and he's just like, do I feel sorry for what I've done? Do I? It's like, well, if I didn't do it, someone else would. That's a very good point. I'm at a really profound moment thinking he's really a good person, knowing that what he's done is wrong, but still continues because he thinks someone else would have done it. Right? And from here on out, and then lorax comes again once he's built his factory even bigger. So a million of needs and all this stuff. And he's just like, well, the Swanee Swans can't come anymore. Why? Because they can't swim, they can't fly anymore. They've got too much smog in their throat. They can't. So, oh, sad. So, what do you want me to do? Fire 100,000 workers? Is that good for the economy? Is that sound for the country? I'll see your point, but I wouldn't know the answer. Adding actual true facts into it, being like, is that good for the economy? You got to think, stop this before it gets too much, because then you could ruin the economy or something. It's thinking of the other side as well, but also saying why it's still bad. Which is way deeper level than the book went, but still great. And then he's just like, I need to talk about gloppity glop and sloppity slop. Basically, standing for carbon dioxide and global warming. But it's sloppity slop and gloppity glop. Which, but it makes sense, because 5-year-olds don't want to know carbon dioxide or CO2 is in the air, and the more that we have of it, the more it will, like, you know, the more it will hurt people and the more the planet warms up. And he's like, but I like weather warm. So yeah, but it will warm up too much and crops won't grow and everything. He's like, why not? Can't you just make them colder? 5-year-olds wouldn't get it, so it makes sense to say sloppity slop and gloppity glop, because they'll get that. But I'm just not a massive fan of it, but I do still find it kind of funny. And then he ends up talking to him, saying, but now the hummingbirds, they can't come because you're gloppity glop and sloppity slop. And then 20 seconds of the slop coming out. He's thinking, oh, first the poor barboos, then the poor Swanee Swans, now the poor humming fish. Oh. Darn it, that blasted factory of mine. I'm going to destroy it right now. It's like, and the lorax made his point. Then, one of the, like a stock collector or something, calls him on the phone, just like, well, yeah, the stock market just closed and we're up 27 and 58 points. It's like, whoa, whoa. And it's all about how greed can really capture people, even if they're good people. Greed can really be something bad that a lot of people feel. It's not all bad people. It's really good points that 5-year-olds will not get. Maybe I'm reading too deep into this. Maybe I am, but I don't care. And then she's like, well, I don't listen here, you animal. I'm just going to keep on. And she's like, well, I speak for humans, and I speak for men and human opportunities. And I'm going to keep on biggering. I'm biggering. And then you hear the last tree whack. It's dramatic. Like, but more, it's the most dramatic version. And when you feel it, it's just like, immediately all my family left. And what was left was my big empty factory with lorax and I. And he lifted his keister up into the whole of the sky where the smoke wasn't smoky. And the sky wasn't blah blah blah, whatever, I don't know anymore. And it genuinely was just like, the kid says, what's an unless? Unless is a faraway thought, something you ought. I didn't know what it meant until now, but unless someone like you cares an awful lot, nothing's going to get better. It's not. And he gives him the last say to give him hope. And it ends. No fancy, we're going to do it and we're going to save it already. And say, you're supposed to do that? No. It doesn't give you a weak message. It's basically saying, if a bunch of you people don't try hard enough, places stay absolute rubbish. Plain saying rubbish. I could say a worse word, but no. Everything's saying rubbish. And that's the message of a book. And it needs to be said. It needs to be said now. The film butchered it. The film absolutely butchered it. The 2011 film. The fact that was even got lorax bright. The fact that was approved by the people who made Dr. Seuss. If Dr. Seuss saw that, he would be lying in his grave, sticking and sucking with his gloppity glop and sloppity bop, with his bippity bop and saying screaming sappity glop. Knowing Dr. Seuss. Whatever that even means. And that is wrong. The Illumination film is just rubbish.